dials into the show that informs, entertains, inspires, and promotes all things that go left. Welcome to Late Model Monday, the weekly show to stay in the know about asphalt late models here in the Pacific Northwest. Tonight's show is brought to you by Miller Kitchen and Bath, Bailey General Contractors, and by Myers Floor Cover, Welch's Gun Shop, Flaming Pig Barbecue, and by the Wenatchee Valley Super Oval and the Leonard Evans Used Car Superstore, and by the great folks at Product41.com, McKinney Glass of Yakima, Atomic Screen Printing, and BLG, Blue Line Graphics. Be unique, stand out, and get noticed. www.blg.blue. And now, back to your horsepower and performance hosts, Terry Bridges and the low Jeff Eady. What is going on, racers? Welcome to another edition of Late Model Monday. I know this isn't a late model, but I got to thank Iron Mike Stats for this bad boy right here. It's going to go right up. Let me see, am I getting it? No, right up there. Pretty cool. It's a real cool, it's an illustration, but it's super awesome. I also got a number I got to get up. So a big shout out to Iron Mike for that cool bad boy. That's going to look good. The 67S, one of our figure eight, outlaw figure eights. We got a cool show for you tonight. COVID-19 week 3. Everybody on mandatory lockdown. Hey, Mr. Walden, what is going on? Jeff Clements, Dylan Rupert, what's going on? Man, I'm just going to tell you, I watched the news before I came up here. It's serious, folks. I don't know. We got people out here playing pickup basketball and running around the beaches, you know, without the 6-foot rule. And I don't know if you saw the little preview that I did for the show, but I'm telling you, this is no joke. I mean, if you want to still have your freedom, obey what they're saying. Otherwise, they're going to lock us down where we can't go or do or really anything. And remember, just because it seems easy and you see a lot of people, they can enforce it by law, I do believe. I know everybody's going to say, well, you got this side, the conspiracy side, you got this side. I see both sides. Sometimes the conspiracy side seems like it's not that far-fetched. But then you've got the other side with the facts. I don't care how off they are. Let's just say there's more, or I don't know. I don't think there's less, but in any case, one death is too much for this stuff. And, we're going to clown around and get ourselves in a big hurry or big trouble, and then guess what's going to happen? Everybody's going to be boohooing. I'm not going to get into the political thing, but I just want to say, could you imagine? I don't care if you like Trump or not. Could you imagine being the president now? I don't care if you're Trump or Obama or if you're the Loader or you're me or you're Garrett Evans or Wayne Walden, or although those would all be great presidents. But I'm just saying, can you imagine having to fight this stuff, and trying to do the right thing, and you've got everybody on your back telling you what a crappy job you're doing and fighting you every step of the way and jerking on your coattail and just fighting everything you do. No matter what you do, it's not right enough. No matter, how fast you do it, it's not fast enough. I mean, it's just, it's getting to the point of ridiculous. Let the man do his job. He's in there. He's not doing that bad. I mean, he can't be any worse than any of the other ones we've had. So, I mean, cut the man a break. Cut us all a break. Same on Facebook. If you can't get on there and argue politics and not be civil, then don't get on there and argue it. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. And it's kind of sickening when you get all these people on there and, if you don't believe their way, they're threatening to defriend you and all this stuff. It's just, we need to chill. We need to chill. We got a great show for you tonight. Nick Behn from South Sound Speedway is going to be with us. We were going to have the great Mr. Doug Hobbs from Evergreen, but he got tied up in some business meetings, the county and some other things that he has to do. I don't know, both for the track and maybe some other ventures that he's doing. So he couldn't be with us tonight. So to replace him, the next best thing, who could it be? It's a loader. Jeff Eden going to join us about 7:30. So, hi, Rhonda Klein. Hey, Greg Walden. Hey, Schroeder. What's up? Summerhalder. Hi, Oma Venable. One of the sweetest ladies you'll ever meet in your life. She's wonderful. First things first. So we got the loader. We got the great Nick Behn going to be calling us here in about 5 minutes. We're going to talk to him about what's going on at South Sound. You know what? Here's what I believe. I believe that, hi, Kelsey. Kelsey P's in the house all the way from Pennsylvania. It's going to get better. I mean, we're going to have to stay the course a little bit. But it's all going to be good, and we're all going to be glad we stayed the course. That's all I want to say. I just want to say we owe it to ourselves. We got to keep everybody positive. We got to be loving on each other from 6 feet away. But you know what I mean. It's not the time to be bashing and dogging. It's time to be, living and loving, and we'll get through this. God will get us through this. He gets us through everything else. He will do the same here. How about this one? Denny Hamlin wins at Homestead. Yeah, he did it on iRacing. How many saw that? I did. You know what? It was pretty cool. I thought it was super cool. It was really neat. They had Mike Joy and Larry McReynolds and Clint Boyer and Jeff Gordon all commentating. It was really cool. And then we had Jimmy Johnson, who, from what I heard, I didn't see it, but he hit everything but the pace car. But he's just learning. So it just goes to show you, doesn't matter how good you are, when you come to something new, there's a learning curve. There's a learning curve. And it sounds to me like Jimmy Johnson's got quite a learning curve. What up, Robert Summerhalder? And so I hear the World of Outlaws are next. And then I think the Indy cars are going to be doing the same thing on Saturday or this weekend. Shout out to iRacing and shout out to Fox Sports for getting this done. I mean, some racing is better than no racing. And I don't know if you saw the Facebook post, but some guy said, I know, breathe. I'm just trying to get it all in. They had marble racing on. I don't know if you saw it, but they were racing marbles. I mean, you know you're a junkie when you're racing marbles when there's no racing. Another cool thing, I got a text or a Facebook message from a guy by the name of Nick Stark. Never met Nick. Maybe I have, but I don't remember. But his son TJ is going to the Bonneville Salt Flats, and he's going to try to set a new world record in a quarter midget. How cool is that? I mean, that's pretty awesome. Another shout out. We all know this guy, Steve Crusher Cote, or is it Cote? He has dropped, man, almost 100 pounds. And that's awesome, man. That's super awesome. And he's got a detail business, too. He details cars. And he's got an opening. So if you guys need your car detailed anywhere up north, man, check him out. Hit him up on Facebook. Tell him you heard it on the show. Here's Nick. That's pretty awesome. Your favorite drivers and people of interest in the motorsports world. It's time for In the Seat, powered by Blue Line Graphics. We all know this guy. He is the Mr. South Sound himself, Nick Behn. Nick, welcome to the show, and thanks for being here.
Hey, Terry. Thanks for having me.
Dude, so let's get into it, man. First things first, what are your thoughts on this COVID thing?
It's all you can do is kind of watch and see what they're doing. I may have my own thoughts, but not everybody's going to agree with them, so I'll keep them to myself. But, all you can do is kind of go along with what they're recommending you to do. And It's obviously fairly serious, so I think we need to pay attention for sure. I saw Loader's video earlier today and totally support him and what he's doing, and I wish more people would do that.
Absolutely. He said, he called me up and he said, "Hey, man, I'm not going to make it Monday. I just think it's right that we kind of follow the mandate." So what he really meant was he thinks I have it and he doesn't want to be here. No, I'm kidding.
I think so too, right?
No, I'm kidding. No, but seriously, you're right, Nick. I think it's one of those deals where I'm not saying that we know more than medical people, and but when you see people out on the beach not taking heed to this thing, I think people think they're invincible.
Yeah, I think the state gave us an opportunity a week ago to tighten up our reins, and nobody did. So now they're going to kind of smack us a little harder
and do it for us. Amen.
Yep.
So I know part of your thoughts is, I know you don't like this because it affects the racetrack and your schedule and so on. But
and hundreds of small businesses. And
what does this mean to South Sound? What's this gonna? How bad is this gonna hit you guys?
It's a minor delay.
Oh, I love it.
We're going to be business as usual as soon as we're allowed to be. Our schedule will hopefully not miss too many events, and we're going to get back to it. I believe people are going to be dying for some great entertainment once this ban is lifted, and I think they're going to go support all the venues that they can do.
Absolutely. We're going to see full restaurants, and we're going to definitely see full bars. I know that.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So, man, how about your small business? I know you have your parts business. Also, it's not your side hustle, but it's part of the racetrack. But has it slowed down quite a bit?
Fortunately, we've had a lot of work in, and it's been going strong. The parts sales are maybe a little bit slower than they should be this time of the year, but with the fear of everything going, it's totally understandable. But we're still rocking and rolling pretty good, actually.
That's sweet. So how about, your place is already, it's obviously one of the best kept secrets in the Northwest because the way it's laid out, it's got a cool pit area, it's super clean. Have you done any improvements that we're going to see new for 2020?
I don't know for say that you're going to see any new improvements, but you're definitely going to hear some new improvements because we upgraded our PA system.
No.
Yes, sir.
Dude, for me, I love that.
So we've got some new equipment up in the tower. We relocated a couple speakers and added a couple speakers. So hopefully it'll be a little bit clearer. It maybe won't be so loud in front of the concession stands, and you can hear us in the corners. So we're looking forward to that.
That is super, man. That's a huge. I don't think people understand just how big of an improvement that is. Kelly Hale's loving you.
Yeah, and your announcer makes or breaks your show, so you got to treat him right?
Absolutely, man. And he's one of the best, no doubt about it.
Yeah, we're very fortunate.
Absolutely, man. So, how about the rest of the facility? You got a new PA system. Any other improvements? I don't know if you listened to the show a couple weeks ago. We had Doug Betterall on, and he said, "Man, we got in there and we painted the floors of the bathroom. We got new toilets, and not that you guys needed that, but are there?"
Yeah, that's awesome. Doug's doing a great job over there, and really pulling the place together. And I know this is going to really hurt his Apple Cup, what he had going on there, and really feel for him because he's doing so hard. But we got most of our painting done in the off season before the weather turned because we had a little bit of an extended nice spell going into the winter.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty ship shape and ready to go.
Dude, I love it. Now, let's talk about the schedule. I know there's the tri-track thing going on. I don't know. I don't know if we're too far west. Were you involved in that? I know you know about it, but did you have a chance?
We're too far apart and we're too far away. Meaning, like our limited rules package just doesn't really work for that. Our super late models are a little different than what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And it just seems like that mountain pass, everybody seems to be afraid to go one way or the other, except for a handful of guys. So
Right. Right. So now,
you
how
know,
many? I mean, normally, how many late models, or anymore it's super lates and late model, but how many supers are you thinking you have, or will you get? I mean, I know it's going to vary just because you got people trickling in, but your regulars, you have a pretty good solid bunch of regulars, right?
yeah, I mean, I think our minimum last year was 8 or 9, and our most was 16 or 17, and it's normally somewhere in the 10 to 12 range, which is still a great show on a short track.
Absolutely. And really, Nick, that seems to be. I mean, if you get 15 to 18, that's a big field these days.
That is a big field for sure.
Yeah. So I mean, 10 to 12 is kind of the new. Unfortunately, it's kind of the new norm.
It just is what it is. It's an expensive hobby, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
And time consuming. I think the help is just as hard to find as the dollars.
Yeah, you think? Because and good help on top of that. But
you need good help anymore. That's for sure. These cars are pretty technical.
They certainly are. Now, what about? So, I may call them late models. You might know them as. I mean, the limited late. I mean, they're pro late somewhere, limited lates here. They're late models everywhere else. I mean, you have that rule package too, right? And is it pretty close to the same as the other ones?
So we have our late model, which is more like a limited late.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest thing, we've got shock rules, and we've got sway bar rules, and we've got engine rules, all trying to keep the cost down.
Right.
Whereas the pro lates are basically a super late model on a treaded tire.
Okay.
Same big money engine options, same big money shock options, just on a treaded tire.
Okay. So so they're like on a 970, right? Or at your place, like an American Racer, is that right?
Yeah, correct. And it's also a 970 for the limited late model class.
Okay. You know what? I mean, now you ran the American Racer, so this year you switched to Hoosiers then?
No, we're American Racer.
Okay.
Through and through.
Okay. So is there much difference between a 970 and an American Racer?
The Hoosier 970 versus the American Racer 970?
Yeah, they
seem to be a very comparable tire.
Okay. See, honestly, that'll tell you how arrogant I am. I didn't know American Racer made a 970. I thought it was just Hoosier. So, and so the 970 American Racer is a treaded one, just like the Hoosier one is.
Got a very similar look and feel to it. Yep.
Wow, interesting. So then your super lates are on the American Racer slick, right?
Yes, correct.
Got it. Okay, I'm with it now. Man, I don't know about you, but I think I love the fact that you have a class that has, and I'm going to assume that you're talking a steel-bodied shock, correct?
Correct. It's about $100.
Yeah, like the old 89.90. When I was doing it, was 89.95 AFCO, the blue shock, right?
Yeah, you got her. It's a little bit more money now, but same idea.
Man, what a great. I just think that has to be. I mean, there's always going to be a place for that because not everybody has the big bucks, right? I mean, that's a huge. Well, how do I say this? Back in the day, probably when you were doing it, and even in the 90s, where there was that natural progression where people went from, say, like a mini stock to a street stock, maybe to a hobby stock, whatever, and then they kind of, there's that natural step all the way up to the top. You don't quite see that quite as much anymore.
Absolute. There's some pretty big jumps. It seems like it's quarter midget, legend, super late model, or maybe bypass the legend altogether.
Yeah, and I don't know about you, but I think they're kind of missing the boat there. I mean, maybe some guys are ready, but there's a lot of folks that I think get up there, and then they go, oh boy, this might have been a little bit bigger step than I can chew.
There's a lot to be said about driving a street stock or a limited type car where you don't have all the adjustments to worry about.
Right.
And you get to learn the car, and you get to train the crew, and the driver gets to make different adjustments, and it's a good progression going that direction, I think.
Yes, absolutely. Do you think we'll ever see that progression again, or will it always from now on kind of be those hop, skips, and maybe leaps?
It's going to be tough to get back there just because that's the trend and that's what people seem to be doing.
Right. Now, you say the Legends. You have a pretty strong schedule for those this year at South Sound?
Love our Legends class. It's great. We've got a ton of cars, a ton of great drivers, great people. It's a big family affair in the pits with the exception of the one outsider. And that guy changes every week, so I'm not picking on anybody. But, yeah, we have them a bunch of times, and it's great.
Right. So now, and correct me if I'm wrong, but is there do we have, I mean, I know the Fall Classic maybe and some of those that are kind of, but do the Legends have their own like big, like grand poobah, major event? Is that always down in Vegas, or is there a chance it could ever be up around here?
So, I mean, all the tracks basically put on a regional qualifier, which gives you a shot to go race in the big show if you win it. And we got, I think, 32 cars last year for our regional qualifier.
Wow.
All the way from California, Oregon, Idaho, Montana, I think. I mean, they come from all over the place, right?
Right.
And, yeah, New Mexico even.
Wow.
Yep. They choose some of the bigger venues to do one of those big races, one of their actual national events.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was in Georgia last year. They've had it in Vegas. They try and be probably a little more central in the country to help everybody out.
Yep, absolutely.
But, we've got some pretty good events up here for the Legend cars. So
right.
Seems to be doing good.
It seems to be really strong, right? I mean, because you've got Hermiston has them, and I know Wenatchee, I mean, they pretty much run at all the Northwest tracks, right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Yeah, Evergreen's got their own Legends class. We've got ours. Hermiston's got theirs. And between all of them, there's, like I said, a solid 30 to 40 cars.
Right. Boy, we should have like a Northwest Legend shootout somewhere. Wouldn't that be sweet?
Be pretty cool. But that's kind of what the regional.
That's kind of what the regional.
Do,
Okay.
Yep. And it's a cool class because it is one set of rules. Period. Here's your rules. Here you go. There's a ton of tech on them, which is good. Don and his wife Andrea, they go to a lot of the races, so it's consistent tech at a lot of the races, and that just makes a big deal for all the guys.
That is a fact. I've always said I think racers. I mean, it's almost like I remember back when JJ and those guys at Goulet Racing, when we were selling parts, it was kind of like people don't. They want a really good deal. But they would, if you tell them it's going to be here on Wednesday, they want it there on Wednesday. If it's $89.95, they want it to be $80. They just want consistency, and I think that carries over to just about everything, right? Including tech and the rules and everything else and the enforcement.
Absolutely. You don't mind the tech guy if he's really hard on you, as long as he's hard on the guy behind you too.
Right, and he's that way every week, so you know what you're going to get. Sounds like you have that guy, right?
Well, we definitely have that guy in the Legends class. He's really good at it, really thorough with them, and it seems to be going well.
So now, when you say there's one set of rules, we're talking. There's no you can't. The trailing arms are teched, right? There's a certain length. The third link, everything.
Yeah. You have a wheelbase gauge, and it has to meet the wheelbase gauge. You have a hoop that they have to be able to drive through. If they're too wide, they can't drive through it. They've got their scale weights, and every single part on the car says INEX.
Wow.
The wheels, the tires, the suspension links, the shocks. They've all had it branded with either their U.S. Legend cars or INEX on them, and they keep it very, very, very tidy. That's for sure.
So if you came, if the trailing arm was 27 inches long, let's just say, and you came and you built your own trailing arm and it was 27 inches, you would be DQ'd if it wasn't stamped with that INEX thing.
I believe so, yes.
Wow. Somebody at INEX is making some money.
They're doing all right, yeah.
Wow. So what are you most excited about for 2020? I know to get it going, but before all this happened, was there something that you were saying, man, I'm really excited I'm really excited about this for 2020.
I mean, we had a great year last year. We left off really well, and I mean, honestly, I'm just excited to get going. We've got some great races coming up. We've got a couple of the new Northwest Tour under new management races that are coming, and those are going to be just phenomenal. And we've got some bump to pass stuff that the crowd's just loved. And when you get a big crowd, it's just exciting.
Absolutely. I'm just going to say, you as a racer, I mean, I've done it. You would be a liar if you didn't say that to some degree a racer likes the glory, the crowd and getting out and everybody going, yeah, I mean, I think you'd be fibbing if you said,
Are you saying racers have egos?
Yeah, I'm saying that. Yeah, I mean, it is a big deal. And when you pull out onto the racetrack or you're coming around on the parade lap and you happen to glance up and you see that full house standing, waving their hat. I mean, man, it's exciting sitting in the stand, so I can only imagine what it's like in the race car.
Oh, absolutely. There's nothing like it.
Yep.
Everybody wants to win on a full house night, that's for sure.
Dang straight. Nick, the other thing I think is super cool that I saw last year that I just thought was super refreshing was I saw yourself, I saw Mr. Walden and Greg Walden, I saw Matt Alexander. I saw a lot of the tracks all working together, supporting one another. You were at Yakima. Mr. Walden and Greg Walden were there, and Matt was there, and they were at Hermiston sometimes. I know you and Hermiston kind of run, so it's hard for you to always get over there. But I just thought it was so cool that everybody just kind of said, look, I'm going to go support this racetrack too. I'm going to go support his racetrack. I think we got to have that.
It's a must. I mean, you got to work together to stay. We all need each other's help, and if somebody's got a Sunday race, it's great if the other racetrack can kind of encourage their drivers to go support them. It doesn't always work rules wise or logistic wise, but it's nice to have the effort, and one or two guys can make it. It just helps.
Absolutely, man. I think that's so cool. Now I know there's the WARPA or whatever every year, but and maybe you guys just kind of do it over the phone or whatever, but do you guys have I've always said it'd be kind of cool, and I don't know, maybe this happens, but if like Doug Hobbs and yourself and Greg Walden and Matt Alexander and Jeremy Anders and all that and Doug, do you guys
Jeremy who?
Do you guys get together and say, okay, here's my schedule. Are you thinking about this date or that date, or how do you guys do that?
So it's actually pretty humorous. They put a big whiteboard up at the front of the room, and everybody go put your late model dates on that board, and then everybody else is supposed to stay off of them. But the problem is there's about 12 prime dates in the year, and there's 8 racetracks, and every racetrack runs more than one date. So how are you ever going to stay off of each other's dates?
Right.
So, you pick your closest competitor and you try and work with them as best you can, and that's all you can do.
And do you think it's worked thus far?
It's okay. I mean, there's no perfect system.
Yeah, I know. Man, you're diplomatic. Are you not a politician? No, I'm kidding.
Don't accuse me of that, man.
Yeah, so with the COVID-19 deal and all that stuff, I mean, obviously it all depends on I don't know when they're going to lift the ban. We're probably at least 2 more weeks, right? From what I can gather.
We're 2 to 3 weeks minimum. Yep.
So you're hoping will you open up? I mean, if the ban is lifted, will you open up like the soonest in April, or do you have a date? Like, anything like maybe penciled in?
I'm going to go with my schedule, and I'm going to X off dates as they don't let us race. And as soon as they let us race, it's going to get a check mark beside it.
Okay. And so will those be rescheduled, or are those some of those we're just going to have to lose?
No, we're going to unfortunately lose them and go. I know that we've got the Northwest Focus Midgets on one of our early April races. And I mean, if we lose those, we'll probably try and reschedule. We did the same thing last year. We had a rain out on their first date. So special circumstance like that. But as far as the local classes, it's just tough to fill them back in.
Gotcha. Man, that Focus deal, that's a cool thing. How did that work out last year for you guys?
It was really good. I mean, Carla does such a good job in Galen promoting their
Don't they? I mean,
series, and
yep.
they did a bike giveaway up front. I mean, they bring so much to the sport. They're just fantastic to work with. So
Yeah, they really
we
do.
was really looking forward to that event this year, and unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's probably going to happen, but we'll see.
So hopefully that will get rescheduled.
If we lose the
possible.
race date, we hope we can reschedule that for sure.
Man, that's super awesome. And so when are the Northwest Super Late models due to come to your facility?
First weekend in June. I think that might be June 6th.
So that might be one we get in.
I think we're going to get that one in for sure.
Dude, that's awesome. That's super awesome, man.
And then they're going to be a part of our 200 this year also.
Seriously?
Yes.
Wow. That is super cool. And you're still going to have the, I don't know if it's still, is it going to be the West Roads 126 or?
Yes, sir.
And when is that?
That's going to be July 4th.
Oh, baby.
Wes was always our resident fireworks guy. I mean, he loved them. And
yep.
One year Butch decided not to do fireworks, so he went out and he bought a whole bunch and went down into the middle and he blew them all off. And, that was just, he loved them. So.
Wow. Did your dad have a fit?
We felt no. It was all talked about. It was good. But
that's cool.
We just felt that was going to be a good way to honor a good friend, and the right weekend and the right number, and yeah.
That's so cool. I got to ask you, man. So I know this weekend they had Denny Hamlin won Homestead. Did you watch the iRacing deal on there?
I did not.
You didn't?
Nope.
Dude, you have seen some of them, though, haven't you?
I've seen some of the iRacing stuff, yep.
Dude, it was pretty amazing.
I heard a lot of people enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. And come to find out, I think the World of Outlaws, I think the Indy cars are going to be this weekend. And the World of Outlaws are talking about doing. I just think that's super cool. And
I think they scheduled a Texas race, too, for the iRacing NASCAR.
Oh, really?
Yep, that's what I heard.
Dude, that's so cool. And BJ, believe it or not, I sponsored a race. These are the ones I can afford. But it was the Northwest Race Report 200, and it was from Lanier, Georgia. It was super cool, man. It was super cool.
That's pretty neat. It'd be neat to see maybe some of the up and coming drivers be able to get in on that NASCAR race if they could qualify in on time. That would be neat.
Wouldn't that be cool? And I'm telling you, Nick, it was like, honestly, the sounds were the same. I mean, yeah, you could kind of tell, but I mean, for the most part, man, it looked, if you were to just first walk in, you'd say, what? Is this a rerun or something? I mean, it was really cool. It was super cool.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good that's where, I don't know if they're smart, though, because that might be their biggest competition come the future.
You know what?
And they're promoting it right now.
That is kind of true, right? Because it is really slick, man. And the coolest part is if you crash, you just hit reset.
Right. It costs you money for your simulator and your subscription, and you're done.
Right.
And I saw somebody say the best part about iRacing is it doesn't matter what you eat during the week, you can still do it.
Yeah, no kidding. You don't have a hefty tire bill or nothing. But you watch. If this thing takes off, you can bet you're gonna have to buy tires and everything else. You mark my words.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They're covering it on Speed 51 also. So.
Oh, are they?
You know
really?
that.
I didn't.
Yeah,
know that.
Somebody's thinking about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Boy, wouldn't that be sweet? Getting paid for phony tires. That'd be awesome.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, virtual tires.
Virtual tires. That'd be sweet. We got them right here. No, but
I think you ought to trademark that right now.
You heard it. You're my witness, right?
Yes.
Okay. Hey, man, I appreciate you taking the time. I know you're busy. I'm going to let you roll, but I just want to say, man, you're good for the sport. We love the racetrack. I'm looking forward to coming down there and hanging out with you guys this year, and I appreciate all you did for us last year too. It was super cool.
Happy to have you down.
Right on, Nick. Thanks for calling in, man. We'll talk to you soon, okay?
Thanks for all you do for the sport. Really appreciate you.
Thanks, Nick. Bye-bye, man.
Talk to you later. Bye.
Nick Behn, everybody. How can you not like that guy? Yeah, he's got his thoughts, as we all do, but Brian Morris, what's going on? Mohawk, what is going on? Devin Borden in the house? You mean we got a hot dog ASCS 360 driver here? Wow, pretty cool. That's really cool. Why am I killing you, Jeff Ford? But hey, I want to say, I don't know. Chime in on here. I'd like to hear, as a driver, it's an honor to participate in the West Rhodes. Absolutely, Robert Summerhalder. Wes Rhodes is a good guy. I didn't know him personally, but I do know he was a heck of a racer. No doubt about it. What'd you guys think of the NASCAR thing yesterday? I honestly thought it was really cool. And the coolest thing was, it was serious and whatnot, but it wasn't, you had the commentators were getting a kick out of it. I thought Clint Boyer was awesome. It was really cool to hear his, his little feedback here and there, and Jimmy Johnson. I didn't see all the ones he dumped, but everybody said, man, Johnson's just taking everybody out. But, I don't know, man. I thought it was super cool. And then I participated. We sponsored, Northwest Race Report sponsored one of BJ's iRacing things that Travis Barnes won. And I don't know what I know he's going to do good things this year in the real stuff. But, man, I'm here to tell you, he won the last 3 races in that deal, and it was sweet. They were getting a lot of cars. Seth Frazier was in there. There was just, Dylan and Garrett Huffines were in there. There was a lot of really our good Northwest guys in there battling it out. I just thought it was super cool. Really cool. So, guess what? Here in about 5, we're going to have the Loader closing out the show with us tonight. He couldn't make it tonight because we're trying to, we're doing the 6. No, it's not 6 miles, but we're doing the 6-foot thing. But good to see Devin Borden on there. You guys, you want to talk about an up-and-comer, man. This kid, he didn't have real good luck down there in California, but, man, what a whale of a job he's done. I would like to see him in a late model. I really would. I think he would be killer, I think. So sometime if you're tired or hurt or whatever, I know how to get a hold of Devin. So if you want to maybe toss him in your late model, that'd be kind of sweet, I think. iRacing raves compared to the real deal. Yeah, Kelly Hill, I want to hear the driver's chat. I know. How many drivers were having a beer on caution? That, you know what, Jeff? That's what Clint Boyer said. He says, man, I'm ready for a cold beer right now. It was pretty cool. Kelly, how excited are you about the new sound system, man? That is like, that's like Christmas that'll be like Christmas in April for you. That's really cool. I'm excited to come down and do one with you. I sure was hoping we could have did that one last year, but I think it ended up getting rained out. But yeah, Kelly Hale and I were going to do one at the end of last year. It was just going to be, we were going to try to do it up really awesome, but and maybe we can still do that again this year. That would be super, super fun. But yeah, iRacing raves. Yeah, Jeff, seriously, man. I think you don't get that seat of the pants feel or whatever, but yeah, it was pretty cool. I wonder if the Loader fell asleep. I don't know. We'll have to see. I know he was going to call in. Can't wait for the chance to flip the switch. No kidding, man. Hey, what up? Jacob, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Good to see you. No kidding, though, Hale. I would love, the driver's chat had to be, could you imagine Kyle Busch? My goodness gracious. That would be crazy, crazy cool. So the Loader coming up here very shortly. Oh, there he is. Your favorite drivers and people of interest in the motorsports world. It's time for In the Seat, powered by Blue Line Graphics. Just playing the intro for you.
All right.
Welcome our next guest. He is from Olympia, or otherwise Lacey. He is a cool co-host, and he's the one that kind of got this whole Monday night deal started early. The Loader, Mr. Jeffrey Eden. What's going on, Loader?
Oh, just kind of hanging out in my shop here, cleaning it up and getting ready to start some new projects.
Yeah. Well, I know you heard Nick. I don't know. I'm excited to see what South Sound is going to have this year. I mean, they usually have a really good program on there all summer. And, I mean, we were fortunate enough to be able to get in there just about whenever we wanted to. So anything you're looking forward to from South Sound this year?
The same thing. I mean, he puts on a great program, and it was one of the things that I was going to try to type in, but I was kind of got busy there when listening, and was at that last race of the year last year where they ran all classes, and we were done by 10 o'clock because they'd had the rain out the week before, so he took and had all of them. I was so impressed by the way it ran the whole time. It was unreal. I applaud him. I even told him afterwards. I mean, that was fantastic.
Absolutely. It is. You know, and I mean, we talk a lot on the show. I know you feel real strongly about it. I mean, the fact that, you know, and Mr. Walden said, you know, you've basically got 3 to 4 hours to get your show in. Otherwise, you're going to start losing people. How important is that to you when you go to a show?
I think it's very important. I mean, you got so many families, you know, you bring families. Well, you got a 7-year-old that he isn't really interested in racing, but he's there and he's running around. Pretty soon he's going to sleep. So what are you going to do? Put him asleep in the tower or in the stands, or you put him in the car, or do you go home? And that's usually it's the go home deal. So to me, it's let's if he keeps coming to the races, pretty soon he's going to be interested in them races, and then you got a race fan.
Absolutely. John Peterson chimes in. He says, "Can't wait to throw the green flag." I think we're all in that boat.
Let's see, isn't he the one from?
Is he the flagger at South Sound?
No, I think he's Evergreen.
Okay.
I think he's the one that told me the next time I come to Evergreen to come and say hi.
Well, that's awesome. I didn't know that. John, introduce yourself, man. That's pretty cool. Hey, go ahead.
Mr. Walden had a deal he put on Facebook here a little while ago, and it kind of rings in kind of true. He says, you know, when we just went through a time change, didn't realize we were going to go from standard time to the twilight zone. You know, and it's so true.
It is true.
It wasn't something none of us want this. I mean, I don't want to have to stay home. But my whole deal is, and like I said this morning, if my wife gets sick, then she can't go down and visit her mother. And it's her mother's on her last days, and it's to me it's really important that she gets to do this. So that's a lot of my reasoning behind everything that I've done.
Oh man, you know, and you can't blame anybody. I mean, you know, people say, "Oh man, you're a fear monger," and you know this or that. Man, this stuff is killing people.
Yeah, it's real.
Yeah, it's not a joke. I mean, you know, like I put up one post, and what I try to do is, you know, see both sides. You know, you got the conspiracy side, and you've got the side that's, you know, fake news or the media or whatever they want to call it. But you know, you know, sometimes that conspiracy side, you get to thinking, you go, wow, man, maybe that, you know, like the guy said. So now get out there, wash your hands, and go live the life they don't want you to live. And that's just kind of almost stupid when you start. I don't care if there's not 800 a day like there was over in Europe, but come on, man, one a day is too many.
But the people did it to themselves here. And part of it is, to me, media is fueling this, which is, you know, that's their job. But when that deal at Rattlesnake Ridge, when there was probably 150, 200 people there on the ridge, and then the deal down at Ocean Shores and that, where everybody flooded the beach last weekend. I mean, and it was all caught. Guys, he asked you not to. You did it anyway. So now I got to say more. So that's where it ended up.
Right. You won't help yourself, so we're going to step in and help you for you.
Yeah, and exactly. So,
yep.
But there's actually some cool things going on with this, and I kind of, I got a laugh. And Lori Fuller, I have Lori on Facebook, and the other day this thing pops up, and she went back to school and got a bunch of books, and she spends a half hour or so reading books to people online. So the kids.
Mm-hmm.
This is so flippin' cool.
It is cool.
To me, it shows the passion that Lori has for being a teacher. And more of this is, I mean, we're going to see more of this as it comes along, I think,
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
My neighbor, she works at North Thurston School District at Timberline, and she said that they're going to start, she has to get a laptop from school. She has to learn this system, and they're going to start doing some stuff with the laptop to try to keep everybody going.
Mm-hmm.
It's a necessary evil, in my opinion. You can't. What are we going to have? Kids that have been out and they, you're not going to take their summer away from them. That won't work. They won't learn. So
right.
This is one way to keep them going.
Mm-hmm.
And I applaud Lori. I thought it was the coolest thing going.
Yeah, if you look online, there's a lot of teachers that are trying to do that. I mean, I just think as a teacher, that's your natural instinct, is to want to do all you can to help the kids. I mean, those, we take it for granted that they're teachers and stuff, but I mean, man, those kids are a big part of their life.
Exactly. And you listen to some of the things that Lori posts and stuff about the kids coming back and seeing her later years and talking to her and stuff. That's huge.
Yeah, or like she took away the French fries from that kid.
No, that was from her. Little kid. I felt so sorry for him. French fries, and they grew in the ground.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't want to. Jeff Ford says, I found out I'm not in shape for yard work season.
Yeah, and that's all I've been doing is yard work. The wife, she came home the other day and on Saturday, and we've spent 2 days in the yard, and we're about probably half done.
Wow. Well, I noticed your back flower beds, with the stones. I mean, that looked really good.
Yeah, they're about half done. So
yeah, really good.
Pretty much done, but it's a lot of work. But we're enjoying doing it together.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the things that we don't always. A lot of times I come and hide in my shop and do things out here, which I enjoy, and we don't always spend a lot of time together. Even I mean, we've been retired for almost 2 years, and we still don't do a lot of stuff together. So
right.
But,
it's cool.
Another thing through this whole virus deal is with this new mandate. I was messaging with Mike Newman. Well, he has a utilities company. They are now shut down because of their non-essential. When this thing gets back, all our small businesses need our support hugely.
Mm-hmm.
The only way they're going to survive is when this comes back, we support them. It's just like the racetracks, the restaurants. I mean, the restaurants I've been at. I was at Flamin' Pig the other day and got a sandwich, and I just keep supporting, please.
Yep. The cool thing I noticed was yesterday, sitting out watching on the front porch. The neighbors that we have kids now. They were out there playing football catch. They were playing yard games. You could hear them over there laughing, going, yeah. I mean, it was kind of refreshing to see families be families again.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I've got a lot of kids in the neighborhood here, and yesterday there was a couple ladies come walking by and commented on the yard, and they were just out for their walk. They were staying a distance apart and still doing their thing, and so it's refreshing to see it.
Absolutely, man. So I got to ask you, yesterday, did you get to see any of the NASCAR, the iRacing deal on Fox?
I seen a little bit of it. I had some other things. We were, like you say, we were elbow dirt in dirt, so I didn't get to watch that much of it.
Mm-hmm. Pretty.
It's they better be NASCAR better be careful. You know, they've been talking about a way of cutting costs. This is it, man.
Yeah, no kidding, right? That's the cheapest tire bill these teams are ever going to see.
Cars get rebuilt in just a push of a button.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, I think I told you earlier, and this is one of the things on my list, TJ Stark. You can check him out on Facebook. TJ Stark Motorsports, I think it is. He's at the Bonneville Salt Flats, going to try to set a new world record for quarter midgets. How cool is that?
Quarter midgets?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know they even had a world record.
I don't know. Maybe he's just going to set it.
Well, you know what? Out of all the racing venues that I've been to I've never been to a real live NASCAR race, big race, or any of that stuff. I don't really care for crowds in that capacity.
Correct.
But the Salt Flats is someplace I want to go. That's a bucket list for me, is to go to the Salt Flats.
Mm-hmm.
To watch that. I don't know. There's just something about that high speed deal that just trips my trigger.
Well, you know, everybody's dying to know what do you know about, you're going to be with Team Schroeder Motorsports this year going around. What do you know about that? And do you have any plans? I mean, do you know what you're going to be doing yet? I mean, I know you said you were going to maybe go do some testing, but is that still on or do you know?
Testing is off now. You know, it's officially now because of what he just did. We were going to try to go this weekend to Yakima was the last I had heard. But at this point in time, it's like I was laughing there. I think it was Sunday that they posted some pictures of Max working on the twins, they call them. Both cars look identical.
Mm-hmm.
So they were, you know, they're busy working on the cars, and when they're ready to go, I'm going to be ready to go.
Man, dude, that's awesome. Are you excited for it?
Yes, I am.
That's cool. That's cool.
I mean,
what are you most excited about? What are you most excited about for 2020 and doing that with Schroeder Motorsports?
Well, this is my thing with Schroeder Motorsports, and I'll say this till the day I die. They're a family team. They're family oriented, and when I've hung around with them a couple different times, they've made me feel like I was part of their family. You know what? That means volumes. You're going to do. You enjoy doing what you're doing when you're doing it with family, and they've made me feel like family. So that's where I sit.
Wow, that's really cool.
I mean, I had a blast last year. I working with Chris Miner. We had a blast. I learned a lot. I got to meet a lot of neat people. But travel-wise, it was too far for me. With Max and their team, it's more local. There's a few races out and about, but I'm not gonna go to Hermiston every other weekend or whatever it was we did. It got taxing on me. So at this point in time, this will be more local. I'm still gonna go to Hermiston, still gonna do that, but this is what my concentration is.
Well, hang tight for a second, man.
Hey, everybody. Stephen Blankenship. You are listening to Late Model Monday, where you get the best and the fastest news in late models everywhere around the Northwest. And you'll be listening to Terry Bridges and the loader, Jeff Eden.
Our good buddy Steve Blankenship giving us a shout. Travis Barnes, what's going on, man? Welcome to the show, buddy. He won the last 3 iRaces. Boy, that boy can wheel.
It sounds like it.
Heck yeah, man. Go ahead.
I seen a small business advertisement today that I want to give a shout out to.
Okay.
By Chris Hager.
Uh-huh. Hager 4?
Yep. Got custom holes dug by Tank and Dozer. He was showing out there the dogs. You could just barely see the dog's butt. Custom holes by Tank and Dozer.
Leave it to Hager to come up with that, right?
Oh my God! I was sitting there laughing. Wife, what are you so funny?
Well, check this out, man. I saw one I had to share with Shane Biles, and the caption of it was, "We're done. Waffle House is closed."
Oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, the Waffle House was huge. We ate there twice when we were back there. But, you know, Jeff, I mean, before we let everybody go and whatnot, I mean, I know we kind of beat this thing, and I know it's not really racing, but it's important for us. I mean, we decided we were going to do this because we wanted the show to be following to suit what we should be doing. But for the racers out there, I mean, if you could tell them anything, what would you be telling them?
Well, I think biggest thing is have fun. Sometimes it gets too serious, and when it gets too serious, I mean, I'm just like the next person. I want to win in the worst way, but if you're not having fun at what you're doing to get to the win, what is it?
Absolutely. Well, you know what I kind of say to that, Jeff, is kind of like, you know, go racing because you love it. Let winning just be a benefit.
Yeah, exactly.
And
I'll be strictly honest with you. I think I've won 3 races in my whole life. 2 of them were drag races. And every time I strapped in a car, I always got a smile on my face. Because I'm going to go fast and have some fun. And that's where I'm at.
Absolutely, man. I agree, you know, and hey, these teams got a little extra time. So I think, you know,
nothing should be falling off.
That's correct. I was going to say, nobody's got any excuses now to not make sure that thing isn't tidy and right and tight, for sure. But
and I got another thing here
sure.
in closing that one posted today, and this one here I think really hits the nail on the head for what the times are. It says, "Do not change your behavior to avoid being infected. Assume you are infected and change your behavior to avoid transmitting it."
That is a fact. You know, that's exactly right. There was a doctor on, I watched the late show, and the guy said, "Hey, you know what? If nothing else, don't do it for yourself. Do it for somebody else."
Exactly.
You know, and that's really the truth. I mean, you don't know. Now we're finding out you could have it and not know it. You don't have any symptoms for 2 to 10 days. You could, and like the guy says, I don't know if you saw the post, but it said, had a picture of a bunch of Skittles. And it says dumb. It has a 3% kill rate. And then it said smart person. You have 100 Skittles, 3 out of the 100 can kill you. Are you going to eat the whole bag, or are you going to ignore the whole thing?
Exactly.
And that's what we're dealing with here. You know, it's like compound interest. 1 will affect 10. 10 will affect 100. 100 will affect 1,000. And next thing you know, we got a mess.
Yeah, and that's what we've got is a mess right now. And I think what he's doing, I think if everybody just would have settled down and took the heed that he gave us last week, you know, don't do this stuff, instead of doing what they did last weekend because the weather was nice. Everybody, oh my God, we're going to get quarantined, so we just as well go out and have one last bash. So now you get to stay home. Now your state parks are closed. The Lacey's shut down all their parks in town. That was another good one. I went by Rainier Vista the other day, and the gates are closed. There was 2 soccer games going out there. Full-blown soccer game.
Yeah.
Why, guys?
Yeah, it just, I get it. Everybody's trying to be their thing. But, you know, next week, we're probably going to be in the same boat, but hopefully you can chime in next week. We're going to have Doug Hobbs, who couldn't make it tonight because he had some, from Evergreen Speedway, he had some business meetings he had to attend to, the county and some other things. And then we're also going to have Adam Nelson from Meridian on.
Racetrack in the middle of town.
Yes. And so it's going to be really cool to give Meridian a shout out. They are kind of the stepchild because they're just far enough out that everybody kind of, I don't know that they forget, but they kind of get left out sort of. So it'll be nice to give them some love.
They have some really good shows over there. I mean, Mr. Ransom has sent me numerous little short videos of like when they run their sprint cars and their midgets, and I think Joe has a midget now. So that's a very interesting place, and that's another one of my I'd like to go to places just to see it. I mean, racetrack in the middle of town is unheard of and supported by the town.
It's crazy. Been there. Went to a dirt race there. It's crazy. It's cool, but it's weird when you see it right in the middle of town and whatnot. But hey, I want to ask you. So you're going to be available for next week, right? So if we want to do this again, we can do it.
Oh yeah.
Perfect.
I ain't going anywhere. I'm staying home.
Right on.
I'm doing the right thing.
You are definitely doing the right thing. Loader, appreciate you being on, man. I'll talk to you this week. We'll get things scheduled up for next Monday, and we'll have another awesome show for everybody.
All righty, man. Have a good evening.
Thanks. You too. The Loader, everybody. Jeff Eden. Good to see him on. I just want to say in closing, I appreciate everything. You guys tuning in. If you like the show, please share it. We're trying to get as many people as we can to tune in. I want to say, if you're not busy on Sunday, I'm going to do a special live edition on Sunday night at 6 p.m. It's more karting oriented, but if you're interested in go-karts, I've got a legend, Mr. Phil Fow, who's been in the business for 65 years. And we're going to do a little history of karting segment. We're going to start in 1958. And when Duffy Livingstone got the first kart out and all that stuff, and we're going to talk about how it's evolved. We're going to be an hour of where you can come and rest your mind and not have to think about this virus and come hear about some awesome history in the sport of karting. I think it's going to be really, really cool. I mean, we're going to be talking about how glass got started, all the cool stuff. And so that'll be Sunday night, 6 p.m., You can tune in here. That'll be on the Northwest Race Report, so make sure you go to @NWRR Show. And lastly, I just want to say, I don't know if you guys saw my post earlier, but Steve Jobs said, man, cherish everybody. Love the ones, love your crew guys, love your helpers, love all those people that come and help you every week. Because you know what? Sooner or later, God's going to want them back too. And so make sure we're cherishing it. Doesn't matter. And the thing that I want to just say lastly is I love you guys. I don't care whether your race car is $3 million or $3. It's just so cool that you're out doing it and you're sharing your passion with the Loader and I. And, man, it's not something I take lightly. It's an honor to be a part of all your guys' teams. And I hope you enjoy what we do each and every week. It's an honor to do it for you guys. So with that, man, keep your chins up. We're going to get through this. Late Model Monday will be back next Monday, and hopefully we'll have some cool facts. We may have Adam Nelson and Doug Hobbs from Meridian and Evergreen, and we'll hopefully be talking to the Loader some more. So if you come up with some ideas, you got an idea or a person that you think should be on the show, give me a shout on Facebook. You can reach me at Late Model Monday, or you can just hit me up at Terry Bridges on Facebook. Let me know who you want. Give me a phone number. I'll get a hold of them. We'll get them on the show. I love you guys, and please share this post. Thank you. Good night.
Well, that's a wrap. We hope you enjoyed the show. If so, please like and share on Facebook. And don't forget to stop by TerryBridgesRacing.com on the World Wide Web and subscribe so you never miss a show. The audio version of tonight's show is now available on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google Podcasts, CastBox, or Podcast Addict. For the Loader, Jeff Eden, I'm your horsepower performance host, Terry Bridges. And we'll see you next week for another episode of Late Model Monday, a Circle Left production.
Peace. See you next week, everybody. What up, Dennis?